Welcome to Spirit Q+A, where we question spiritual authority and answer spiritual questions to give you the life quality assurance you need for the happy ever after that you deserve. Today we ask, how can I know if I'm under psychic attack? Do I build shields, pray for protection, or cut cords? But if only love is real, then how are people getting hurt? And how can we change the experience of psychic attack? These are great questions. Let's find out. Hi, my name is Carl Johann Schroeder, and I'm a spiritual teacher, and I have had my share of what one would call psychic attacks. However, I have come to understand that that's not the true meaning of what's happening. Now, I'm going to talk about some myth busting that could upset a lot of people who are heavily invested in the spiritual warrior archetype or the identity of light worker persecution or various ways of dramatizing the actual pain and suffering that people are going through. So please understand, I am in no way invalidating how hard life can be. But all I'm saying is life doesn't have to be hard. In fact, it's absolutely meant to be the most joyful, easy experience ever. Now, it's true that life does have spiritual lessons. There are things we have to go through, and they can be challenging. But there can be a definite sequence of steps to get through every challenge. You can be fully guided, fully loved by the universe, by your higher self, by your soul, by many spirit friends from the real world. Because yes, there is a real world beyond this reality. So this is an important concept to understand, because a lot of times when people experience various kinds of impact and hurt and attack and persecution, what they're really saying is they think the reality is just too real for them to control and that it's doing things to them. This is not how it really is. The fact is, and I'm going to share stories in more of these videos about the real world. The real world is not like the Matrix movie where people wake up and it's a hell. No, the real world, you wake up and it's a heaven. And the goal is to make this reality and every reality that you incarnate a part of yourself into, a kind of avatar, that's who you are. The goal is to make every reality a beautiful, beautiful experience, a beautiful place. Heaven on earth, absolutely. All the dreams, all the hopes and desires, all the joys, all the peak experiences of your life, all the longings for love and to have someone to love you, all of these things and more. The creativity, the wonder that, we could go on and on. That's the real stuff, okay? So the in-between moments, what is going on? Well, it's interesting. I run mystical experience sharing groups. I have been doing so for many years, and I just ran one tonight. And I was thinking, after the group, I'm going to try making this video, see how things go, because honestly, I'm learning to channel my soul. That's what we're all really doing. We're learning to channel the real self and become more of our real self. So I never fully know. I can only make notes, I can prepare, I can get psyched, I can have good intentions, but I never fully know how these videos are going to turn out. Well, I think I'm going to have fun here, because tonight's mystic sharing group, before this video, I kind of thought, this could be a really good warm-up for doing this video, because often in the groups, we get people who are experiencing various kinds of psychic attack. And in tonight's group, there was no talk of that. There was no talk of demons. There was no talk of people attacking them. It was just about personal healing, personal aches and pains, personal karmic issues with other lifetimes, with how they've treated their inner selves, their inner child work, their shadow work, etc. It was really neat. And I was like, oh my gosh, does this mean that I'm done? No, it means that this is a really good time to make this video. So I want to fully sympathize and empathize, because I've been there, believe me. I know how bad it can feel to be under what people call a psychic attack. I have had spiritual, mystical experiences my whole life. I just didn't know how to handle them. And that's a main source of suffering in this world, that we just aren't taught. People don't know how to handle the real energies behind life. So we build up all these stories about how somebody's doing it to us and we need to do it to somebody else, and this whole, what I call the domination culture. The domination culture has zero value, but people are heavily invested in it. It's a culture of saying the reality out there is real and objective, and I need to control it before it controls me. The truth is, there is no solid objective reality out there. It is a kind of shared virtual reality experience. It's a lot like going to a movie with a friend, and you don't get so lost in the movie that you forget you're in a movie theater. You have experiences with that movie. It stimulates a lot in you. We can have wonderful, life-changing experiences, feelings, thoughts, insights from a really good movie that really speaks to us, that really speaks from our truth. And that's the value of reality, to be able to put forth for each other to view and sample from things that really might resonate, that really might help you on your journey, that be the kind of things you're looking for, the kind of things that I'm looking for. That's where we belong. That's the sense of the real selves coming through, making this world a heaven on earth. When you find yourself in your right community, it is beautiful. It's amazing. And there's no point to domination. Why would I try to convert people to my side? Why would I be in battle with them when we're already in agreement? We're already having a great time doing things together. Well, then what is the value of being together if people already agree with you? Because then the realness can come through. Then you can be friends together. Then you can accept and allow each other to discover this upwelling, this source within you and within me and within everyone is a source that will continually surprise and delight us with what a wonderful experience it is giving us to live. That is coming from the real world, where our higher selves, our greater selves, are planning our lives for us. And then we jump into, with a small part of our energy, we jump into these worlds. And then we have more choices within the world. But mostly we have choices along the lines of how quickly or slowly do I embrace my experience, and how much do I enjoy it? Do I take a long path home or a short path home? That's what it's all really about. The long path or the short path. Would you like to have your life be easy, graceful, fun, smooth, or would you like it to be really difficult, challenging, problem-filled, all kinds of definitions of struggle and suffering? So please understand, I am completely sympathizing. I remember when I was in my 30s, my first wife actually, maybe I shouldn't get such personal. She's a wonderful, wonderful person. We didn't stay together that long. She had a lot of inner torment, and I could actually see it. I actually, at times when she was really suffering, struggling with something, I could see it like there were these demons clawing up her legs, up her ankles. And it was funny because it kind of, sometimes her cat would do that. And that can show you how nature can actually sometimes pattern itself after, and I've got my cat here. Kitty, all right, if I seem a little distracted, there's this nice black cat walking around. She wasn't supposed to have gotten in here. Anyway, the point is, yes, I've been there. I've experienced many of the kinds of attack and suffering, but it's all a movie, okay? It's like, if you go to a horror movie, if you've never been to a horror movie before and you've never been to a movie at all, you might be like totally freaked out and overwhelmed. Like, oh my God, these people are dying, do something. And then your friend explains, no, it's just a movie. Okay, it's all pre-recorded and it's all tricks. It's all staging. It's all makeup. You know, people are actors. This didn't really happen. And then you'd be like, well, you know, it's so awful and it didn't really happen. Why are we even doing this to ourselves? Well, that's a good question. Why do people do these things to themselves? Well, there are spiritual lessons going on, but they don't have to be so difficult to learn. People are going through a lot more struggling and suffering than was necessary to learn the kinds of lessons of, like, say, diversity in harmony. That's what really makes life wonderful, to have a diversity in harmony, to have all kinds of different kinds of life and people and experiences and skin colors and backgrounds and genders and creeds and races and all this stuff and cultures and societies, and we exchange ideas, and it's just wonderful and beautiful. And how many people are incredibly afraid of that and have done all kinds of wars to push it away, to demand that that never happen. Well, okay, I mean, if something's not right for you, you don't have to try to attack it and destroy it. There's a fundamental misunderstanding here that you do create your own reality. So let's jump to another metaphor. The metaphor would be that, these days, thankfully, we have these wonderful technologies that are actually not technologies to give us mastery over the physical world, since, like I said, the physical world doesn't actually exist. It's like a movie. The metaphors of technology are actually to help us understand, wow, like, I can create that. I can use that. I can, I don't have to, it's not so mysterious anymore. So look, you have a computer. You say you use your web browser and you go to a website and you see some things you don't like. The person who's into materialism, who's into domination, who thinks that, the objective reality is real and I got to control it before it controls me, effectively they're going to a website they don't like, and they say, "Oh my God, you've infected my computer. You've attacked me. I've got to get you back." And they smash their computer. It's like, you've done nothing to change the fact that there's a website out there. Or maybe the person's a little smarter and says, okay, I know that you didn't actually infect my computer, but by golly, we got to get rid of that website. We've got to make sure these things don't exist. Why not just learn how to, go to the websites you like and avoid the ones you don't like? That's what it's really about. It's about mastering your reality, your reality creation abilities, your beliefs, which lead to your thoughts, which lead to your emotional feedback from your soul, because that's what emotions are, and then your actual physical sensations of experiences of people doing things to each other, like-minded people, believing in the same kind of reality, the same kind of experiences, doing things to each other. There's a whole succession there that makes reality a very real experience. It's still not real. And I'm not saying not real in the sense of any kind of invalidation. This isn't meant to be ungrounding. What the point is, it's not real in the sense that you are real. It's not, you are the one who can change things. If anything happens in your life that you don't like, don't worry, you can change it very easily. It doesn't have a solidity behind it. The solidity is you. You are generating it. On the other hand, if something is in your life that you really like, you would like that to stay around. How much suffering happens simply because people lose the things they like, or they're so afraid of somebody taking it away. So much manipulation happens because I'm going to do this to you if you don't do something for me. All of this based on the idea of I could lose something good. You can never lose something good. It's ratcheting up. When you have a peak experience that is there forever. It's a different subject to talk about how time is simultaneous and eternal, but that's been around for over a century with Einstein's special relativity. People understanding, and intellectually, mathematically, perhaps understanding, not understanding emotionally how to work with it, but yeah, peak experiences, your peak experiences are there forever. Think of it as opening a portal. When you have something wonderful happen, and you get that feeling of have you ever had this feeling? I've had it sometimes in my life. It's like, oh my God, this is so good. This is the way life is going to be from now on. And then it changes. And you're like, what happened? Who took my cheese? That was a book some years ago. And then you can go into narratives about who did it to me and how do I get them back and how do I control them. That's where it all starts, isn't it? Because you lost a peak experience. Instead of understanding, change happens. Change is a constant. Change is a fact of consciousness. You are a consciousness, an awareness, an experiencing point of view. And your experiencing will always increase. That's just the nature of consciousness. As soon as you face something and feel it, you go to a larger position of, okay, now I see myself having done that, and now I see myself having done that. You're always growing, always expanding. So make the change work for you. Don't let change be your enemy. Don't let things be taken away from you just because things changed. Let change be your friend. I had a peak experience. That is now a portal. I can always remember that. I can always refer to that. I can always build upon that experience. There's that phrase, standing on the shoulders of giants. Stand on your own shoulders, your own giant experiences. So what I want to get to is the origins of the sensations of psychic attack. Because I remember it wasn't actually until my 40s that I had a relationship with somebody who was really like my peer, really somebody who had a lot of spiritual, mystical experiences their whole life. Before that, I honestly was with people that weren't really right for me to be that close. But I had a whole model in my mind that the way you help people is to feel the things that they're not feeling, to think the things that they ought to be thinking, solve their problems for them, and try to get them to convert to your point of view. Another form of domination, another form of overpowering. You can be a perfectly nice person. I just want everybody to be peaceful. So damn it, all be peaceful. We're going to have a big prayer circle. We're going to make you be peaceful. You can't. You can't make people be peaceful. You can't make people enjoy their life. What you can do, the way you help people, is live really well yourself and let them see you. Let them know by your example that life could be wonderful. And when they're ready to ask, how did you do that? Or maybe they show themselves, I'm so bad. And you can say, no, you're not so bad. You can do what I'm doing. This is how you help people, is living a good life and sharing your example. Let your light shine. So anyway, this woman in my 40s, wonderful, wonderful, amazing relationship, a twin soul experience, a whole nother topic again. I'm having fun with these topics. But anyway, she did have that light worker persecution complex. Basically, it's a belief that says, I'm a light worker and the dark attacks the light. And that explains why, I have really bad experiences. I'm doing all this wonderful healing for the world and, all this stuff. And why should I suddenly have a feeling of like demons attacking me or something? It must be that the darkness is attracted by the light and it wants to destroy it. Well, first of all, I don't even like talking about dark versus light, because darkness and light are both beautiful. Darkness is the womb of creation, the womb of the goddess, the darkness of space out of which the light and creation comes. Darkness is also the skin color of many people. It's not about darkness, it's about negativity and positivity. And I've talked at length in other videos where, again, you don't have to have negativity mean an extreme of evil and hurting people and torturing people. You could have negativity simply mean a kind of separation, a kind of the boundaries between things, a splitting energy, versus the positive energy can be a uniting, combining energy, but not a combining that loses identity, because that's what people often fear. Like, oh my God, if I merge with, all that is, or the God or whatever, I'll never come back. I'll just be an angel floating around on the clouds playing a harp stupidly forever. It's like, no. The way positive energy works is that when you merge with another consciousness to both see from the same point of view, you're still yourselves, you're just sharing a point of view. And then you separate again when it's natural and right to do so. And you're like, wow, thank you for that merging experience. I'll always remember you. You are a part of me, I'm a part of you. And we continue to have our own identities. So don't be afraid of primal, fundamental energies of splitting and uniting, or another way to say it is, the masculine energy is splitting. It's masculine energy, but about like, leave me alone. I'm focusing. I'm doing this now. Leave me alone. That doesn't have to be threatening. It's just like, I'm doing my thing. Why don't you go do yours? And the positive energy can be the feminine, that's very embracing, very accepting. There's a place for all of us. You know, we can all fit together. We can all be parts of one great loving universe that's alive. And it is alive. It loves you. It wants to guide you always. So let me get into a little more of the points I want to make about this idea of a persecution complex of, you know, the negativity is drawn to attacking the positive energy. No, it's not, okay? Negative energy, when it gets really far into the negative, when it's not just about like the boundaries between identities, but it's actually like excessive splitting, dividing energy so that it keeps you from what would be good for you and it keeps you stuck with what's bad for you. That's when the splitting energy or the masculine energy or what's in the word separating energy, the individuating energy becomes really hurtful, is when it's actually keeping you away from where you belong and keeping you where you don't belong, keeping you stuck with things that are fighting you. That's the real source of the experience of people who are, I'm doing all this wonderful light and love work. Shouldn't I be rewarded by God? Shouldn't I be only having wonderful experiences? It's like, well, no, because it's not a reward system. I mean, God is the creator, the great spirit, all that is, totally loves and supports you. But they're your decisions, they're your patterns, your templates of belief that are creating reality. So there's a lot of fallacies going on that cause people to misinterpret the real energy behind the universe, behind what's going on, misinterpret in a way that's painful. Where does the pain come from? The emotions. You know, I've noticed, probably noticed, a fundamental quality of people who feel very attacked, who do a lot of work to like, oh my God, psychic shielding. Oh, it's called just tonight in the group. One person mentioned they went through a phase of their life of like, you know, psychic shielding, got to like shield myself from experiences she didn't like. And then she realized like it was exhausting to psychically shield herself all the time. She started actually just looking at some of the experiences that she was pushing away and getting the message. And that's the point, is like actually your emotions are feedback from your higher self, from your soul, from the universe, telling you, giving you clues of like what's good for you and what's not good for you. So something that's painful, it's not good for you, but it doesn't mean that something's being done to you. It's a signal. Find what you're doing that's a mistake that causes the pain. Pain is a separation from what you really long for, what you really need. So yeah, I mean, like I said, beliefs create, you know, the thoughts, the emotions, into the actions, the reality. There's so many phases, so many levels down that, yeah, people get lost in it and they just end up with the end result. And they just say like, you said something that really hurt me. You're just trying to hurt me and you want me to be hurt. And yeah, that's part of the domination culture. People are trying to generate hurt in other people because they've given up on love. I don't see how love is going to help me. Love is like, you know, doing nice things for people. If I do nice things for you, then you're just happy you control me and you're not going to do nice things for me, you know. Well, that's a world that's not running on the cooperation of a nice balance of the separation, distinction of energies versus the coordination, the cooperation, the connection of energies. And there's no verses. I mean, the two work beautifully together. Men and women, masculine and feminine energies, they work beautifully together. And by the way, I'm just saying men and women because men and women both have all the masculine and feminine energies. People incarnate, human beings incarnate into genders just to sort of specialize, to get a sort of natural boost in that energy direction. Often what happens is people who incarnate as a woman, it's actually they're trying to learn more of the feminine qualities. It's coming naturally to them, but they actually have a background of masculine energy and vice versa. Anyway, some really interesting gender dynamics, another video topic. I want to get through some points here. So look, psychic shielding, cord cutting. That's when you visualize a cord of energy connecting you with somebody who's not good for you. You're having a toxic relationship. I got to cut the cords. Well, it's true. You can find these energy connections and you can visualize cutting them. And by the way, when you cut them, don't implicitly blame the other person and say, like, you take all the energy back. And cut it somewhere in the midpoint. Like, I get my energy back, you get your energy back. But yeah, cord cutting, praying for angels to protect you. Fine, angels are wonderful divine energy. They'll do everything they can to protect you. But honestly, it's not the angel's job to keep you from experiencing your own choices, your own beliefs, your own emotional, energetic feedback. Angels are not going to like prevent you from growing. Okay, I know a lot of like light workers with good intentions but false belief systems that they're always praying to angels like, protect me, protect me, protect me from all the demons who want to cause me pain. It's like honey, like you're feeling pain because you have these beliefs, including the ones that say, you want to segregate all your emotions into the good emotions that angels will give you and the bad emotions that the demons are trying to put on you. It's like, it's the energy from your own beliefs, from the way you're living your life. That's what hurts or feels good. So take responsibility for that. When you feel good, that's a green light. Go into your reality, have some more fun, but stay alert along the way too, because you don't want to be somebody who just like, I'm just a party crasher. I go around to parties and I have a really great time, but I have no idea, how to throw a party or where the next party is. I'm just always crashing parties. No, you want to have a sense of, I know how good things happen because I've been with them. You want to be involved in your life. But yeah, happy emotions, good quote unquote emotions. All emotions can be good if you use them wisely for feedback on what you're doing. And all emotions can be bad, can be toxic if you use them in a controlling, dogmatic way of saying like, who's doing it to me and I got to control them. And, it's like anger can be very positive if you use it to set healthy boundaries. Like I like my soul likes to remind me, I can love anyone from the right distance. If I'm really angry at someone, I probably need more distance. But hey, I want them to be happy out there. Just like going back to our earlier metaphor of, if you go to a website on your computer, you don't say like, oh my God, the website has like destroyed my computer, smashed your computer, or you don't say, oh my God, we got to destroy that website so that it goes away on my computer screen. It's like, just go to a different website. That's the way it is in reality, that if you meet people that you're not getting along with well, then you need to just let them go. Let them be in their own reality. You don't want to spend your energy on trying to hurt somebody. You want to spend your energy on loving yourself enough to find your like-minded community where you really can belong to thrive. Again, with no domination value in your like-minded community where you belong, only cooperation value, the harmony of like, we are similar enough that we belong together and love and support each other, and we're different enough that we have different points of view that really complement each other. I want to hear what you think of this situation. Oh my gosh, let me tell you what I think. Oh my gosh, that's the source coming through us all, putting a new picture together. The source is continually trying to make a complete circuit from you, from someone else. You exchange values of points of view, you send each other higher. You notice that kind of circuitry doesn't happen, that complete cycle of love doesn't happen with people that you don't belong with. So then you feel the pain, then you feel the anger of boundaries, then you feel the sadness of like, I'm missing out on something that could have been wonderful. You feel the grief of like, I don't know how to get back to a happy state. But don't blame somebody psychically attacking you, because that's only going to take you further down a road of my life doesn't work and it's painful, but I'm crediting the blame to them attacking me. No, the blame is from, again, it's not even blame. It's just about seeing what's really happening. The fact is that the real mechanism behind everything that happens isn't necessarily what people are experiencing. Beliefs generate experience. Beliefs gives you ways of interpreting the real energies that are always happening. Would you believe actually that everyone is always in heaven? Everyone is always in this perfectly loved, amazing state. And yet, because of our beliefs, we can so distort that and so run away from what's good for us and run into and hold on to what's not good for us and keep increasing more and more pain and fear and anger. We end up completely missing the heaven and completely experiencing a hell. And yeah, by the time we get down to the level of people physically interacting, yeah, we can have a pretty tough world. But it just doesn't have to be that way. So I'm saying you validate the experience, but you don't validate the beliefs necessarily. You say, well, validate in terms like, honey, you can believe whatever you want, experience whatever you want, but I'm telling you, it's really a heaven out there behind the scenes up there. And most of you is up there trying to guide yourself like, hey, have some more fun. I'll tell you what to do. Don't stress out so much. So the big question, how do I know when I'm under psychic attack? Easy. You're never under psychic attack. You can feel it. You respect yourself, but get back to your own emotions. Like, don't give away the credit for what's happening to you. I'll tell you, a major upgrade of my life happened when I started realizing, like, I need to stop blaming other people in toxic relationships for my bad feelings. Now, I mean, I had to get to the point of being ready to think this way. I had gone through a lot of experiences of psychic attack and so on. I did want to mention a few experiences. So, like, one was, okay, so this wasn't even that long ago. This was like 2021, after COVID. So, a lot of people went, it was a very reality splitting moment to have this existential crisis around the world. So some people went high. It's like, I'm going to help humanity, and I just want to love. We want to find a cure for this and help the people who are hurting. And other people went low. It's like, this is a conspiracy. Somebody's doing it to us. And then a characteristic of negative beliefs that generate the painful realities in which the energies are being misunderstood in an escalating way. A characteristic is like people will exactly invert the truth. So there are people who thought that COVID wasn't true, or it was a mild thing, or let us all just go back to work and get COVID, whatever, you're making it up. But then the vaccines to help people, oh my God, no, the vaccines, that's like, to enslave us and implant chips and whatever. And it's like, oh my God. So I came across this guy on the internet who was a COVID denier. And by that time, I had already had some tangles, the wrestling demons kind of experience, the dark night of the soul kind of experience. Those basically come from when you go through what you want to go through to try some of the domination culture, like wrestle with things, argue with people a bit, and realize like, yeah, it doesn't work, let it go. I just need to change myself to change the world that I'm in. But yeah, so this guy on Facebook, I saw a guy who was an absolute COVID denier. And he's just saying like, it's all made up. It's just doctors want to kill their patients to get the insurance money. I don't think that even makes any sense legally, financially, certainly not morally, medically. Nothing about it makes sense. And yet the guy believes this. I was like, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. I'm not even going to begin to let somebody else try to talk some sense into him. But I did. So I stepped back, I let him go. But then, by golly, the empathic side of me, hold on, my dog's barking. All right, doggy's happy. The COVID denier, let other people try to explain to him whatever. But by golly, once I got safely at a distance, I couldn't help it. A part of my mind just wondered, like, I wonder what it's like to be that guy. I wonder what it's like to think that stuff. Boom. The empath in me, you know what an empath is. It's when you pick up on the energies of other people and you try them for yourself. and you're going to feel like, oh, this something isn't right here. Well, boom, as soon as I wondered what it's like for this guy, I was hit with so much mental illness. Oh my God, I felt physically sick, nauseous. My head was foggy and thick, and I was like, couldn't think, and I was like, oh my God, I felt so bad. And you know, years ago I could have interpreted that as some kind of psychic attack, but years ago I would have gotten into an argument with him. There was less of a reason to think that, you know, the guy doesn't even know about me. How is it a psychic attack? Oh, it's the demons behind COVID or whatever. No, forget it. It's like, no, I just said to myself, you know what? I just had a really intense experience of empathically sampling somebody else's energy that I really don't belong with. And I need to not judge the guy. Maybe he's okay believing that stuff, but I'm sure not. So I said to my soul, like, okay, I took a wrong turn. I need help. And this is the vulnerability of consciousness, I call it. You need help. You will get into trying things, and then you need to let your higher powers help you out of the hole, you know, that you fall into. So and my soul just said, take a nap. And I said, okay, I want to take a nap. And when I wake up, I'm going to feel really good again. When I woke up, the most amazing thing happened. When I woke up, I felt good. And I was actually like, I could feel the distinction, a healthy separation between my human self and my spiritual self. I could Abraham Hicks calls it, like, you know, getting ahead of yourself or getting ahead of the curve. I could actually feel a time delay, a healthy time delay between my human self and my spiritual choosing self. I could feel my human being saying, hey, what do you want us to think about? And I had a space in which to say, oh, wow, I get a choice. Let's see. Let's think about how the universe loves us and supports us and really wants us to be happy. And my human self said, yeah, that'd be great. Okay, let's think about that. And then boom, I went into like, oh my gosh, the most wonderful, happy feelings. It was like, wow, that is what it's like to be able to create reality, to just choose whatever I want to think and experience, and it happens. Wow, that's amazing. This feeling of being ahead of myself and being able to proactively choose what I'm going to experience lasted for about 2 hours. And I had a really cute image of it. It was kind of like this Dr. Seuss kind of train laying its own tracks. So it's like this contraption moving along, and it's like lays down a track and goes forward. So that's like, you know, my human self saying, what would you like to think? Okay, lay down a track. Let's think this. Okay, it goes a little further. What next? This. Okay. That's how we can work with our higher selves, who will guide us to the most wonderful, wonderful life, the wonderful, wonderful lifetimes. So yeah, progressively over the years, I've learned, like, all the suffering comes from me taking on stuff that just isn't right for me. And then I can make it worse if I hold on to it and try to blame other people and try to change things. Don't change things, just switch the channel, just go to where I belong. So I've gotten better at that. And so I wanted to say a couple of points about that. I'm just looking over my notes here. What I want. I mean, there's always more to say about these kind of things, but yeah. I mean, I want to emphasize the point of valuing your emotions, working with your emotions, rather than getting into the self-importance of, like, you know, I got to push that emotion away, but it keeps coming back. So I'm going to interpret that as like, I know too much and they're out to get me. And, you know, there's a whole drama around, you know, conspiracy theories, and I know things that they want to stop me from talking about. And like, it's just endless. There's no end game to negativity. You can go deeper and deeper and deeper. And you've seen people that go down negative rabbit holes. Personally, I like rabbits, so I'm a little ambivalent about rabbit holes. It shouldn't mean just a negative thing, okay? There should be like really wonderful positive rabbit holes. Like, I want to visit the bunny tunnels, okay? But anyway, I like to play with metaphors there. I like to work on my thinking imagery. I guess I'm pretty mentally strong that way. I was saying tonight to people in my group that I see empath abilities depending on our soul mission, every one of us has unique soul personalities, things we want to learn in order to share certain gifts in the world. But depending on our abilities, we may be a physical empath, meaning you, like a medical intuitive, you can pick up things in your body from other people. Learn to just sample it to get the information you need for your mission. Don't like, oh my God, everybody, where's this coming from? That's often a sign of psychic attack. It's like, I don't know, this came out of nowhere, and then it made me feel really bad. It's like, okay, you have a belief, you have a choice at some level that took you into taking on somebody else's energies that aren't right for you. Find that, take responsibility for it, because actually that's an incredible power. What an amazing ability to be able to sample the energies to give yourself the information you need for your mission. So somebody in the group tonight was saying how they suffered for many, many years all kinds of pains of working in a hospital, taking on people's stuff, picking up stuff. And now they're learning to be the medical intuitive who can just sample the energies, ask for what they need to help people. And now they're like a miracle worker. They show up just in time to help somebody. It's like, I was about to call the nurse and then you came and checked on me. Yeah, I sensed it. That sort of thing. Emotional empath. See, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. An emotional empath. A lot of people are emotional empaths. Can't even go to the grocery store without being overwhelmed, taking on people's stuff and wondering what to do about it. Well, what to do about it? Just have better boundaries. It's like, just because you're picking up on somebody's suffering doesn't mean that you know the solution for them. Like, just have better boundaries and let it be that your higher self guides you so that your gift of picking up energies can help you when you really do have something to offer people. But I have suffered so much in my life because I was some kind of empath, often what I would call, I was a mental empath. I was picking up on people's thoughts, people's worldviews, people's beliefs, and I just get so excited wanting to say, like, you're seeing the world this way. Try seeing the world this way. You're suffering so much from seeing it this way. And some people like that. People who like this video like that, right? But a lot of people would get highly, highly defensive. And I would feel persecuted because, like, what? I'm just trying to help people. I'm trying to tell them what would fix their life. Well, but if a person is pushing away stuff from inside of them and from their higher self and having these locked in defenses, denying things that they're not ready or willing to face, how much worse they're going to react if somebody's in their face telling them, literally articulating, like, you need to do this, like, get away from me, you're making me feel so bad, you're telling me I'm bad and all this. I'd be like, no, I'm telling you, you're really good. You're a wonderful person. I love you. You're so amazing. I want you to be happy. Just if you tried seeing things this way instead of that way, you wouldn't suffer. It's like, but the people who don't want to hear it don't want to hear it. They will fight you. People will fight you. You can easily become the spiritual warrior who's like, I'm just trying to make the world a better place. Yeah, but you're doing it by domination. You're doing it by forcing yourself on others, which is squashing their consciousness. Don't force your consciousness on somebody else's consciousness, because you can never experience exactly what they experience. They can never experience exactly what you experience. You need to be your own consciousnesses. When someone is ready and comes to you and says, like, hey, I notice you can do this. Like, do you have any suggestions for me? Then you can offer stuff. So, and then a spiritual empath would be somebody who'd like, I'm in touch with your higher self and I know what kind of practices, what kind of, techniques or whatever you need to do to, like, completely transform your life and connect with your higher self. And sometimes I love to function that way. Actually, I think that's my future, is that more and more I love to just talk to people's higher selves. And I've had wonderful experiences of, I see a person is really difficult and they're probably going to fight me if I try to help them in any way. And yet I feel, a connection from other lifetimes. I'm the only one around who could help them. I want to help them in some way. Let me talk to their higher self first. You aim your attention higher and just ask, like, what can I do to help your lower self here? And I've had higher selves tell me, like, I'm sorry, my lower self is really pretty out of control right now, but if you just say this or do that, it will validate them. They'll feel good. So do that, and it smooths things out. Whereas I used to just like, fools rush in where angels fear to tread. I would try to be a savior and get crucified for it. So anyway, what else I want to say? The self-importance, say no to that. Notice what kind of ego you're building with your stories of like drama and attack and psychic warfare and all this stuff. A lot of drama. I mean, if you really like that kind of scary, upsetting movies, go to those movies. Personally, I don't. Okay, I'm going to happy movies. Okay. So let's see. I think I've said a lot of my points, and honestly, I've got other videos, and I made this one big lecture called Freedom in the Multiverse. It's really good, that can show you diagrams of how it is that abusers abuse, victims, and yet each is in their own reality. What's happening roughly, let me just say briefly, what's happening is that abusers are abusing a part of themselves. And they're pushing that part away from themselves to push it onto you. They want to convince you that you can't get away from them, that you're in one reality with them, that they're more powerful than you, and that you have to stay with them, and that they have these powers over you. They'll do things for them, or else they'll kill you, they'll torture you, whatever. So if you buy into that, you feel a lot of pain, but ultimately that pain is from you not following your higher self's guidance to just get away from that person without prejudice, without judgment, without condemning them. Just like, I wish them all the best, but boy, this is someone I need to love from a distance. So yeah, even down to the point of abusers and victims, each is in their own reality energy bubble. Each is experiencing their own energies, and they've created this codependency, the cords that need to cut. They are synchronizing their stories in such a way as to be lopsided. So one person looks like the abuser who's getting all the benefits, and the other person looks like the victim who's, things are being taken from them, they're being hurt. But really, both have both sides. And you can see it where the abusers have a really, really wounded child side, comes from childhood abuse, they're passing on the abuse. And a victim has a really hurtful inner critic side. They're each is a whole being having a whole energy experience. So, okay, yes, I wanted to say the point that after having gone through years and levels of trying empathy in different ways and realizing look, the best thing to do is for me to live a good life and just cheer people on, just be ready to help them whenever they're ready for help. So I got to a point where I realized and yet I'm still experiencing what I used to call psychic attacks. Basically, I would get sensations and images of a knife stabbing me in different parts of my body. Partly that is an influence of a past life in which, I had a vivid lucid dream of it. They showed me I really was stabbed and killed. So, but again, don't be a victim of your own other lifetimes. The fact is that your other lifetimes, they're in their own time zone. They want to heal. You want to heal. If you're connecting with another lifetime, it's not because, they're going to do something to you, or, you got to change them and heal them. It's that the two of you want to learn from each other, support each other to both let go the old energy habits. So, but anyway, being attacked at different points in my body, I started realizing, I considered wait a minute, let's just completely get rid of any idea that it's somebody doing it to me. I'm not going to give somebody else that power, that credit that they could be doing this to me. These are simply energetic sensations of pain at the different levels. So a painful image, that's mental pain, emotional pain, even physical pain sensations, that's a separation from physical health. Certainly spiritual pain, the meaninglessness, the loneliness, the lostness that can be felt. All of these. So the images, the sensations I'm getting of somebody stabbing me in different points in my body, it's symbolic. It's information for me. I'm going to hooray, I'm going to embrace that. As soon as I did that, it started organizing itself very clearly. And it's like, if I was doing something that I was forgetting to have the fun, and I was getting, kind of critical and pushy, bossy with myself, and I don't mean to, because it's really coming from negative beliefs, I would feel like a knife stabbing me in my second chakra. Boy, that's personal, right? And it's like, but are different points in my body, and just I started taking it as feedback. It's like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. And then it's moving away from a really graphic, disturbing image, more to just like, a kind of poke at different points in my body to symbolize different areas of where, and then the other thing I wanted to mention, the other feedback system I've had, and this one I've just really solved pretty recently, but most of my life I've noticed very interesting. I have a tingling sensation on the left side of my head in some situations, and then a tingling on the right side of my head. And the tingling on the right side feels comforting and good in some way, like happy. And the tingling on the left side feels disturbing, like there's a fight going on and I want to get out of here. And I couldn't understand, like, why are they happening? And the left head tingle, I started noticing, like, it would happen when I was thinking about something that wasn't good for me. Well, that's good, right? To sort out what's not good for me and want to get away from it. Yeah, but I was thinking about it in a judgmental way. I was like arguing with the person or, personified group of people who do the thing I don't like. That's when I would get the left head tingle. It was actually a sensation of conflict. You are in conflict instead of just realizing like, oh, I don't like that. The right head tingle, I was able to shift a left head tingle to a right head tingle simply by saying like, oh, there's somebody doing something I don't like, but I'm not going to argue with them and try to change them. That would give me the left head tingle. I'm going to turn to myself. Where is the me? What self is having that problem? What self got into the situation of being with these people? What self needs help getting out of that situation? What self needs encouragement and validation that like your sensitivities are beautiful, your values are wonderful, let's work together, let's go higher together, let's talk to our higher self. As soon as I turned away from the things I didn't like and turned toward the me who wanted to go to a better place with me, left head tingle went to right head tingle. And it's like, oh, that's it. I just needed to stop trying to fight with people and change them and go to the people who want to be with me, who want to change with me, which is parts of me. So increasingly, I expect that right head tingle is going to help me locate the people that I'm really simpatico with, really, the kindred spirits that I can really build my life with. And the left head tingle, it still comes up, but it's a very quick, direct signal that like, oh, I've done enough noticing what I don't like. I need to let go, not stay and argue with people. And this is the point. This is the whole experience of, being embattled, psychic attack, whatever. It's actually false beliefs, false interpretations of the reality, the real energy of the universe, false interpretations that are telling you to hold on to people that you need to let go, and not going toward or fearing or pushing away from, running away from the people that you really belong with. How many people, how many times have you you think about like, oh my gosh, I'd love to talk to that person, but then you go to talk to that person and you get really scared and you want to run away. It's like, because that's a bunch of negative beliefs saying like, well, you only got one chance. You better be perfect. You're not good enough. You don't try it today. Don't tell them that you love them. They won't. They'll laugh at you. They'll hurt you. Those kinds of negative beliefs, they are always lying. That's far into, that's beyond any kind of healthy separation, individuation energy. That's into the energy of like just torture and suffering, where the negative false beliefs are constantly telling you the wrong thing to do, to be where there's conflict, and telling you to stay away from what would be good for you. Like, oh, that'll be really bad for you. And it's like, no, actually, that'd be really good for me. And the thing is, with beliefs, you can't skip them. You can't just say, well, I'm going to have the willpower to, believe that I'm a winner and I'm going to say no to any thoughts that say, I'm a loser or any inner critics, and then you're back in the area of like pushing away the feedback. I mean, a good metaphor might be like, if somebody's like at your door ringing the doorbell, and it's like, no, go away. That doorbell is so painful. Go away. And then the doorbell just keeps getting louder if you ignore it. Maybe that doesn't totally make sense as a metaphor, but that is how reality works. If you push away what you need to actually get the message of and accept, it will get louder and louder. It will get more and more in your face because, hey, it's your energy. You're wanting a better life, and at the same time, you're pushing away the feedback that would give you a better life. People are very split that way. It's like, I want things to be wonderful, but I don't want the universe telling me what I need to change and the feedback to get to a wonderful place. It's like one of my soul's slogans for me is on my way, not in my way. Years ago that came to me. It's like, instead of fighting the things that seem to be between me and what I want, just say, actually, that's the universe helping me. The universe wants me to get to beautiful places. The universe knows, my higher self knows that I want to go to a beautiful place and probably has even better plans, even more of what I want that I can't even imagine yet. Stuff that's coming up, it's on the way. That's the stuff I need to learn to master. So on my way, not in my way. I don't want to fight my life experience. It's here to help me. Fundamental attitudes, fundamental belief changes. When you adopt positive beliefs that are true, you still get a reality that's a kind of illusion. It's not solidly out there, but you have a consistent experience with the true world of love. So then it's like, hey, reality is reality. What's reality and what's real are working together perfectly. It might as well be real. And when I need to know that it's not real, because what's not real I can change really easily, my higher self, the real world will let me know. But you can go with the flow and have wonderful heaven on earth, beautiful experiences if you just be willing to embrace all of your life to get the message. It's all messages. Don't yell at the doorbell, fight the doorbell and try to find the doorbell and smash it. Just open the door and let your emotions, let your thoughts be your friends, telling you perhaps sobering messages, like pain is telling you, something, you're really separated from something that you really need and want. So it's very painful. Find the belief that is causing you to do exactly the wrong thing. And like I said, you can't skip steps. You're a human being. Your avatar in the reality simulation, your avatar is part of the belief system. It has to follow the beliefs. Your human being will automatically and has to follow the beliefs that you have. So if you have beliefs that say something that's good for you will actually be bad for you, you will feel a resistance. You'll feel a really split longing. You can be and when I'm in my spiritual moments, I'm like, that's the life that I would prefer. Oh my God, I would love to live that way. But then every time you try it, like I freak out, I panic, anxiety attacks, I can't function. And then the negative beliefs say, well, you're just not ready for it, or you're just not good enough, or you don't ever try it. Just dream about it, fantasize someday, but don't take action on it. No, you need to take action. You need to let the stuff come up, the negative beliefs, but don't interpret them as anything attacking you. Let it be the universe is guiding you to clean out the wound. It's a little ugly, but it's what you really need to clean out the wound so that it will heal. And then you'll be just flying and cruising and having the best time with all positive beliefs. I've talked about this in other videos where the plan of the universe is once and done, solve your problems, solve your negative beliefs, learn how to work with positive beliefs consciously. Then you're golden. Just work with your higher self, the real universe of love. This is it. You never have to suffer again. I know one more thing I was going to say. Oh, this is probably long. I thought I was going to only talk for 10 minutes. This is probably another half an hour or something. But anyway, full of good stuff, right? So the idea of the wounded healer, the archetype of the wounded healer. a lot of people do make use of the negative beliefs and the painful experiences that are possible in this staged reality simulation, making use of unpleasant situations to stimulate, to push themselves to solve it. So a lot of people will get born to, quote unquote, the wrong families, or be in the wrong situation where there's a lot of things against you, and you're the only one who has to believe in yourself. You have to reach for your inner resources, because otherwise everybody else is against you. Well, everybody else in the reality may be against you, but that's filtered through your beliefs. In the real world, everybody is for you. So a lot of times people are driven to heal themselves out of necessity, because nobody else is going to do it for them, and they're in such a bad place. And if what doesn't kill you can make you stronger, kind of brutal approach. We don't want to keep living this way, right? But yeah, if you're in a hard situation, believe that you are meant to solve that. You will become a master of that kind of healing. Now you can keep offering that to yourself so that you don't fall back again, and you can offer it to others. You can have the joy of being an expert in that kind of rehabilitation, recuperation, healing. And that's what we see a lot of in the world today. The people who excel, it's like the struggle, the hero who made it against the odds, the problem is the society can then enshrine these virtues of struggle. If you work hard for something, the overcoming adversity, it's like, but then you start thinking, well, I always need a hardship to have the fun of conquering it. It's like, no, it's just another stage. Let yourself always find a new, better way to do it from now on. If I had to go through it, then I had to go through it, but I want to go through it the best way I can, and never again. Let's find the next better way to live. You can live in a world of no more good and evil, just good and better, better and best. Your way is best for you. My way is best for me. What a wonderful world. That's enough said. So you are never under attack. You do have beliefs that you need to change so that your human experience can become aligned with your spiritual, your soul experience, which is absolutely blissful. You have never left heaven. You are having perhaps a nightmare in heaven, but you actually always have totally positive energy to help you and support you to grow. Okay, this is the one that was running around by my feet for most of the filming. And now she doesn't want to be here. Camera shy? I don't think so.